Hi, friend. This is the Investors Diary. We are live every Thursday at 4 p.m. sharing ideas on investment, sharing ideas on opportunity and how you can take advantage of the real estate market investing. We are talking investment. Today's episode of the show, and this is actually the first episode that we are holding for this on this platform. This you can watch us probably for those of you watching us currently on Facebook, on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. I want to appreciate you. I acknowledge all the messages that you guys have been sending. Everyone who has been interested in investing, the investors, the people asking questions, the people who want to take up opportunity within the real estate market, the people who want to take advantage of how the real estate market works. Today on the Investors Diary, what are we going to be discussing? We're going to be discussing something that looks a bit weird to some people, but we're going to take up that challenge to discuss that. We're talking property hacking. What is property hacking and how do you hack into a property? Now, we know a hacker as somebody who has unauthorized access to data of a particular for someone else. That is who a hacker is. Someone who has unauthorized access to data. Now, he doesn't have the authority to assess that portfolio or to assess that particular information. But you know what? He's able to hack his way into getting information or breaking a password code and accessing certain information that are very sensitive, not to him but to others. Now, in terms of real estate, there are people who are called property hackers. There are people who are called what? Property hackers. What do? Is that they hack into a property. They do not own the property. They do not own the property. But what do? They hack into the opportunities within that particular market and they earn rental income from that market, from that property. Now, I'm going to just go, before I go into the description of who a property hacker is, I'm just going to read you a story I put up on Facebook earlier today. In 2004, a guy named Akonde built and moved into a property. A guy named Akonde built and moved into a property of a 5-bedroom duplex in Magodo. I tried to look for the story here once I get the story. So a property hacker is somebody who hacks into a property, is unauthorized, but at the end of the day is able to earn rental income from a property that he does not own. So let us go through the story right now. In 2004, Akonde built and moved into a semi-detached duplex in Magodo and rented out the second apartment for 1.5 million naira. He spent 43 million naira on the property. That is, he spent it in building because he has to furnish the property. He has to keep the property and give it in a good, give it in such a way that someone can rent it properly. Due to increase in rent, he now receives 3.5 million naira on that property from his faithful tenant. Meanwhile, in 2004, another person named Cletus partnered with a property owner in Maryland who had 48 units of two-bedroom flat, and used the same amount that Akonde used in building his own house to invest for renovation. The rent for each flat after fixing the property in 6 months was 1 million naira each, which amounted to about 48 million naira per year. Now, due to the agreement between Cletus and the landlord, 30% of the rent goes straight to Cletus for the next 20 years. And guess what? Some of that funds are also put out for insurance, and the others goes to the other income goes to the landlord. Cletus was still living at this time when Cletus was earning did this investment. He was still living in a rented apartment when he made this financial decision, and had invested in 5 more deals between 2004 and 2017, and was earning more than 60 million naira annually without owning a property of his own. Today, Cletus owns a house and has moved to his house in Magodo with his family, while Akonde's tenant has moved out because the house is now in a bad shape and requires renovation. Akonde has no money to fix the property. Akonde now wants to sell the property and move into a smaller house. This is a typical story of most Nigerians. It's a typical story of that most people are aware of. Now, a lot of people are being told to buy a house or to build a house on time. And that is an old philosophy. It's an ancient philosophy that will not work in this time and age. Especially for those of you who have maybe just one income. You just have one channel of income. Now, a lot of people are making mistakes with their money. A lot of people are not acquitting on multiplying their money. It is good that, oh, we want to own a house. But what time is the best time for you to own a house? What time is the best time for you to invest in owning your own personal home? A lot of people are making mistakes on a daily basis, and that is why they are spending their entire life savings trying to impress people, or trying to live with the Joneses, or trying to live like the Joneses. Oh, you know what, Mr. Wasil just own a house, so it's better way to go and own our own house. But you know what, you need to figure out your own economy first. And figuring out your own economy is predicated on you sitting down and addressing your own finances, building your own economy by channeling your resources by multiplying the resources that you currently have. Now, because what you need right now when you have just one income is to multiply your channel of cash flow, is to multiply the stream of income that you have. But what do most people do is that they give up on their money. Now, this Cletus is a typical example of a property hacker. What he did was that he used his little resources, or he used his resources to multiply his investment. What did he do? I'm going to, maybe when we come back from this break, I'm going to have James in the house. He's going to come with me. I'm going to discuss this. Hi, this is the Investor's Diary. I'm happy and excited to be here with you. And I'm not here alone. I'm here with my partner, with my friend J.A. Jay, good afternoon. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Good evening. We are live every Thursday at 4 p.m. just discussing real estate investment and the investment diary. What do you see? His name is James Adefuye. He's live with us. He's our property. He's an acquisition analyst. Does a lot of stuff in the house for us and all of that. Now we're talking about, before we went on the short break and before we have you on ground, we're looking at the story between Cletus and Akonde. I don't know if you
Magodo person.
The Magodo person and the other Maryland guy who invested in Maryland, took it into a property. Now we're looking at property hacking. Who is a property hacker? What does it take to hack into a property? Because a lot of people are making mistakes with their money and they're not. So, what advice do you give to anybody in the bid to into hacking the property?
One thing everybody just needs to learn is that when you want to hack properties, the opportunities are just endless, because we have tons of property deals coming in day out. Like one person could actually be telling you he has up to 10, 15 deals and all that. So we have so much that we barely select up to 5% of them. So when you have those deals coming in and you are able to have at least some sort of training to an extent where you can say this is a good deal, we can't do this now, let's do this later and every other thing, you will now be left with an option that it's just going to be a win-win situation, as opposed to just trying to do everything that comes your way, because not every deal is actually a good deal. But in the long run, you get so much, but you, with your years of experience and all that, you would now have that opportunity to be able to spot a very good one and just do it.
Now, how do someone hack into a kind of a particular property? Into a property, I want to enjoy rental income without owning a property of my own.
If you want to enjoy rental income and not own the property, the opportunities are there, but for some reason, most of the ones that are very valuable are all these face me, I face you, because most of them are actually not getting what they ought to get, and they know that fine, whatever it is, this thing can't go on for long. And even Lagos State government is coming knocking at their door that you people need to upgrade your property, if you don't, we'll confiscate it. So they are actually looking for us, and if we are able to strike a deal with them, then we are all good to go.
You hear what he said? He said they are looking for you. They are looking for you. They are looking for you to bring in your fund into a kind of deal that can earn you good returns on a regular basis. Like the story we just read. Somebody, there are some deals that I want to just ask a question. If I want to run maybe a kind of property, what kind of, like on the average, how many properties do you get on a weekly basis? Asking people to come and partner with you, or you wanted to partner with people. How many deals do you get on a weekly basis?
On a weekly basis, we get up to 30.
30. Wow. Now, because the reason I asked that question because I know already, and the reason why I asked that question is because there are so many deals on ground. He mentioned that not all deals are good deals, but if you're going to have 30 deals coming to you on a weekly basis, I bet you there are many more good deals than there are bad deals. There are many more good deals than there are bad deals. I asked that question because there are many people currently on ground who need your service, who need your investment, and so the opportunities are within the income, within the investment. Now, for what Cletus did was that, you know what, I'm still going to live in a rented apartment, but after I've lived in a rented apartment, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to invest 43 million naira into a 2-bedroom apartment. That apartment that I'm going to live in, let me just continue living in a 2-bedroom, in a house of my own. Why Akonde went to build a house and he just only had 1 tenant? Why this other guy had 48 tenants and was sharing just 30% of the rent? Every year he receives about 13.2 million naira on a yearly basis. Just imagine so within the space of 10 years, he has been able to do like 7 or I think 5 of that property, or of those kind of property, earning about 60 million naira on a yearly basis for that investment. That's a good one. But you know what a lot of people try to do now, if you're going to advise anybody now, what do you advise anybody to do? Do you advise me to go buy a house?
I'll never advise anyone to go. Fine, you can buy a house, but whatever it is you are buying, it should be a multi-family house.
Okay.
When I say multi-family housing, I mean apartment buildings. Because however it is, the city is all built up and all that. So you now putting just one family unit house, let's say a duplex on a plot of land, or maybe putting a semi-detached duplex on a plot of land, isn't actually the way to go if they are actually just building your house for the very first time.
But that would depend on the location anyway.
It depends on
I can't go and build a multi-family apartment somewhere in the village anyway.
Yeah. Location too is very key when it comes to this.
So if you're looking at maybe something like Lagos, for example, because Lagos market is very, very saturated, and I think anywhere in Lagos also will be good for anywhere in Lagos. Will be good because there's high demand for rentals in those areas. So what you are doing with your plot of land by building just a bungalow on that property, or by building just a 4-unit 3-bedroom house, is that you are wasting that property. You are wasting the potential of that property. You can easily convert that property or take advantage by hacking into a particular investment. Now we have seen something. I think I posted something. Most people see developers. Most people who are actually developers are property hackers.
Yes, they are.
They are not really developers. They are hacking into a property. They are hacking into an opportunity. Please, can you help address that?
Well, developer in most cases are people that, well, maybe you know them, maybe you don't know them, but whatever it is that has been happening before now is what developer has been doing, trying to help upgrade or renovate or demolish and kind of like put a new structure up in any development. While property hacking is a very smart way to actually do what developers are doing, but in a more creative way.
Okay, so now what hacking in real estate is not a bad word. Hacking in real estate is not a bad word. I don't have a house, but I want to earn rental income. I don't have a house of my own. I want to enjoy the same benefit that a landlord will enjoy. Now, what I'm trying to do is that I'm trying to use leverage. That action is simply called hacking. That's what hacking is all about. It's not a bad word when it comes. It may be a bad word when you try to engage in the technological world, but it's not a bad word when it comes to real estate investing. Now, a lot of people do not understand this, and you know what? I got a lot of people asking questions like, what is rental income? What is rental income? Do I have to own a house to enjoy rental income? Please, I'd like you to also talk about that.
Well, rental income has been around for a very long time.
Yeah.
It's just the name that people decide to call it.
Yeah.
It can also be called residual income, however you see it and however you want. But rental income in this case is actually peculiar to real estate, or in our own case, it's a real estate terminology, meaning rent will now become your salary, or most likely rent will most likely replace your salary, and this is something that you keep getting again and again and again. So it's not just like a one-off thing. So that's just rental income.
Okay. So rental income is an income that you earn from investing in real estate. It doesn't necessarily have to be your own particular property. It's that you're taking advantage of an opportunity to invest in real estate. Now, there are two ways to become a hacker. You go and run the property of your own. That is, if you have some level of income that you can run it on your own, or you partner with a group of people. You come with maybe 3, 4, 5 individuals coming together to negotiating a deal and renovating that particular property. That is how to be a property hacker. Or you approach, or you have your money yourself and you do it yourself. A lot of people are missing this kind of investment. Do you know why I will advocate anybody to invest in real estate or to invest for rental income? It's because rental income is a predictable income. Is an income that is also indestructible because you have different perspective.
It is recession proof.
It is recession proof. That's the word. It's recession proof. Now, and for anybody who wants to invest in real estate, that is one of the things that you should need to take advantage of. We're going to go on a short break, and when we come back, we're going to be discussing. We're going to discuss how you can be part of it. We're back. This is the Investor's Diary. Every Thursday we are live at 4 p.m. discussing investment, your income, your cash flow, your rental income, your revenue, cash flow, and you inspiring confidence in a particular kind of portfolio. So we talk about high yield, income that are good for you, income that you need to invest in, and all of that. I still have JA in the house, just talking about property hacking and how you can hack into a property. So today we are going to go straight into that discussion. How do I participate as investing for rental income, or as a property hacker?
How to participate? I would most likely say you can do it yourself. But I would always advise you have the leverage, and the leverage will be in the form of doing or undergoing some sort of a training.
Yeah.
And I believe we have a program coming up to that effect. You can always let us know and we'll dish out the information.
All right. All right.
That
Okay.
is one. Two, it's what we do. It's what we are doing to. That is everything we do. So it has actually become part of us. We have lots of deals around. We talk of Yaba, Surulere axis, and the likes. So it is also what we do.
Okay. So we're looking at if you want to partner with us, you can just visit our website www.middlechase.com. Go to select any of the investments that are available there. You can hack into any of them and start investing with us. Number two, one is that you can also do it yourself. We don't say, oh, invest with us at all costs. What we also do on this platform is to help people to maximize success by doing it on their own. So you have maybe 10 million naira, 20 million naira, you want to hack into a particular property and enjoy good returns. We're going to show you how you can do that. Now there's a class coming up on the 29th and 30th of this month of November. I think you'll be seeing some of the visuals already. On the 29th, it is the rental income class. If you want to participate in that class, you can join us the last 2 days of the month of November and participate. Visit www.afping.com/rental income class. afping.com, that is afping.com/rental income class. Just sign up on that platform. Pick any category you want to be a part of. As you sign up, you get to see where you can partake. Now we're giving a discount of about 50% to any one of us who can participate between now and the 28th of November. We're going to give you 50% discount. Not just the discount that you're seeing on the website, but we're going to give you a discount on that. So you can participate and get to learn more about how this can work for you. Now, a lot of us, now we talked about property hacking into a property. It's not a bad word when it comes to investing. The authorized seller of a property, owner of a property, is the property owner. A hacker is the one who is taking advantage of the property, of opportunity. Yes, there's a loophole. What is the loophole? The loophole is that the owner of that property does not have all the funds to fix that property. Now, what you now come in by hacking to that property is that you take advantage, you use your little cash, renovating that property and earning rental income for that with the landlord. And you can earn with about maybe about 10 years to about 20 years, depending on the agreement that you have with the property owner. That is how to hack into a property. So to learn more, you can just visit us on the page. That has been the episode for this day. I don't know if you have a word to give out.
Well, I don't have a word per se, but however it is, whatever it is you get, either salary, either some from contract and all that, there is always an investment seed inside it. Don't spend it all, don't eat it all. Just look for something to invest it into. Stay rich and free.
So we see you on the other side. See you on the other side. See you on the other side. Keep on hustling right, keep on getting your hustle right, and keep on investing. This is the episode of, we're going to see you tomorrow on Chudi Talk. We're going to be talking about, I'm going to be ranting tomorrow. But every Thursday, see you not Thursday. If you want to learn more about investing and how to take advantage of the investment circle, you can just keep on with us every Thursday at 4 p.m. We are live with you. Till we come your way again next time. Stay rich and free. God bless you.